Okay children, welcome to 10th class biology chapter 1. In our previous class we discussed human digestive system and digestive glands. Now I am going to draw the diagram of human digestive system one more time for your better understanding. Okay, see. This is mouth. Next, mouth onwards, here we have a cavity. That cavity is called buccal cavity. Buccal cavity. Here this is mouth. This mouth it opens. Then we can see a cavity. That cavity is called buccal cavity. For example, this is mouth. Okay, if we open our mouth, there is a chance to see one cavity like structure that is called buccal cavity. For example, see this. Here, this cavity is called buccal cavity. Okay. Next, this buccal cavity leads to pharynx. This part is called pharynx. Here we have pharynx. This is pharynx. Pharynx. Next, this pharynx is attached to a tube-like structure. The tube-like structure is called esophagus. Esophagus. Next, the another end of esophagus is attached to stomach. Which part? Stomach. This is stomach. This is stomach. This stomach is attached to a small tube-like structure. This small tube-like structure is called small intestine. Okay. The small intestine contains how many parts? 3 parts in it: duodenum, jejunum, ileum. Okay. This part, duodenum, the starting part of smaller intestinum is called duodenum. Okay, next the middle part of smaller intestine is called jejunum. Okay, next the end part of smaller intestine is called ileum. What it is called? Ileum. Okay, now next the other end of smaller intestine is attached to a longer tube-like structure. A larger and longer tube-like structure that is called larger intestine. Larger intestine. Okay. This is mouth. Mouth leads to a cavity. That cavity is called buccal cavity. Next, this buccal cavity is attached to pharynx. Okay, pharynx will opens into food pipe. Food pipe is also called esophagus. This esophagus is attached to stomach. Stomach attached to the smaller intestine. Smaller intestine contains how many parts? 3 parts: duodenum, jejunum, ileum. The starting part of smaller intestine is called duodenum. Next, middle part is jejunum, and the final part is ileum. Okay, next, the another end of smaller intestine is attached to a larger coil or tube-like structure that is called larger intestine. The end part of larger intestine, what we call? We call as anus, and this part we named as rectum. Try to recall yesterday's diagram. This part is rectum. What is the use of rectum? Rectum is useful to store the defecating substance. Anus. What is the use of anus? Anus is useful for removing the waste materials in the form of stools. Okay. This is the larger intestine part. Smaller intestine attached to larger intestine. Okay. Smaller intestine contains how many parts? 3 parts: duodenum, jejunum, ileum. Larger intestine also contains how many parts? Not only 3 parts, it contains 4 parts. Okay, try to recollect yesterday diagram. In yesterday diagram we observed a smaller finger-like structure which is attached to the larger intestine. What we named? We named as appendix. So appendix is one of the part in case of larger intestine. Next one is colon. Okay, first one colon, next appendix, next anus and rectum. Colon, appendix, these four are parts of larger intestine. Colon, appendix, rectum, anus. So these four are the parts of larger intestine. How many parts are there in smaller intestine? 3 parts: duodenum, jejunum, ileum. How many parts are there in larger intestine? 4 parts: colon, appendix, rectum, anus. Okay, let us see here. If we take the food materials into our mouth, then what will happen? Grinding will be done. Grinding is also called mastication. Mastication means chewing of food material with the help of teeth and saliva is called mastication. So mastication will be done in our mouth. After that, what will happen? We will swallow the food materials. Means bolus. Swallowed food material is called bolus. This bolus simply enters into this pharynx. Next, enters into esophagus. Esophagus is a pipe-like structure which attaches to stomach and it sends the food materials to the stomach. During the sending of food materials, our esophagus shows wave-like movements. Wave-like movements means, have you ever observed types of wave? Types of sea? There is a chance to see some crests and troughs. Some crests and troughs. Crest, trough. Some up and downs we can see. Elevations and depressions we can see in the tides of sea. So here also it shows some wave-like movements like this manner. Some backward and frontward. Backward and frontward. Like that manner it moves. So these moves are called peristaltic movements. Which movements? Peristaltic. Very very important. Peristaltic movements. These peristaltic movements causes the entering of food materials from esophagus to stomach. Whenever the food materials enters into our stomach, then what will happen? Our stomach also shows peristaltic movements. It also moves like tides of sea. Means it shows some peristaltic movements. So because of this reason also digestion will be done in the stomach. After that, what will happen? After the completion of digestion in the stomach, the waste some materials which are not digested in the stomach will enter into the smaller intestine. In case of smaller intestine, what will happen? Absorption will be done. The digested food materials contains some vitamins, minerals and nutrients in it. These all they can be absorbed in the area of the smaller intestine. Next, what will happen? The waste material after completion of absorption, they will enter into this larger intestine. In case of this larger intestine, what will happen? There is no chance to see any digestion. Here only absorption we can see. Which absorption? Absorption of water. Absorption of water can be done in the area of larger intestine. After completion of absorption of water, what will happen? The waste material will be entered into this rectum and it can be stored in the rectum. Next, what will happen during the process of excretion? Through the anus, the waste material will come out from our body. This is about digestive system in our body. Okay, if you observe the mouth is full for masticating the food material. Masticating means grinding of food materials. Mouth attached to pharynx. Pharynx will opens into esophagus. Esophagus is also called food pipe. Food pipe is attached to stomach. Esophagus, food pipe, next stomach, smaller intestine, larger intestine. These all they can show peristaltic movements. Peristaltic movements means during the passage of food materials, they will move like tides of sea. Okay, they will move up and down, like that they will move. Because of these peristaltic movements, what will happen? what will happen? The food material will enters into the stomach and will enters into the small intestine, will enters into the larger intestine. Finally, through the peristaltic movements, we will remove the waste materials from our body. Did you understand? Okay, so here all of you look at the board. Here there is a chance to see one opening, that is called mouth. Here also there is a chance to see another opening, that is called anus. Okay, from this mouth to anus, this total part looks like a tube, longer tube. For example, this is one mouth, already I told you this is one opening. Next, this is also one opening. From mouth to the anus, this total part looks like a one tube, one longer tube. This longer tube is commonly called as gut. What it is called? Gut. G-U-T, gut. Gut, or it is also called alimentary canal. Gut, or it is also called alimentary canal. Okay. So it is very important for 1 mark or half mark question. What is meant by gut? Then you can also a longer tube which extends from mouth to anus is called gut. A longer tube which extends from mouth to anus is called gut. Okay. Here it includes pharynx, buccal cavity, esophagus, stomach, jejunum, ileum, duodenum, nothing but small intestine, larger intestine, rectum. These all are included in it. Okay. A longer tube which extends from mouth to anus is called gut. Gut is also called alimentary canal. Okay. This is about digestive system in humans. Okay, na? Okay, children. How we are going to discuss the next topic, flow chart of human digestive system. It is very important for 2 marks. He will directly ask you, draw the flow chart of human digestive system. Then you can draw the diagram. Okay, you also try to draw this diagram. First, food materials we will take into our mouth. Okay, then they will enter into which cavity? Buccal cavity. Buccal cavity. Next, buccal cavity will opens into pharynx. Okay, pharynx. Pharynx will send the food materials into a pipe. That pipe is called esophagus. Esophagus. Next, esophagus will send the food materials into stomach. Try to recollect previous diagram. Stomach. Next, stomach is directly attached to duodenum. Okay, duodenum of the small intestine. Stomach sends the food materials into duodenum. Duodenum. Try to recollect human digestive system diagram. In that human digestive system, we draw the structure of liver and pancreas. Liver and pancreas both will attach to duodenum, small intestine, at the region of the small intestine. So here, if you observe, duodenum, it attaches to liver one side, next pancreas another side. Pancreas another side. Already we discussed about the role of liver and pancreas. Liver secretes bile juice, which is useful to digest means emulsification of fat molecules into simpler globules. It is useful for emulsification of fats in our food materials. Next, pancreas. Pancreas secretes which juice? Pancreatic juice. Pancreatic juice contains amylase, lipase and trypsin. Try to recollect the digestive system, digestive glands. Pancreatic juice. It contains amylase, lipase and trypsin. Amylase is useful for digestion of carbohydrates, lipase for fats. Next, trypsin for proteins. It converts proteins into peptones. This duodenum is attached to, it is one of the part in a smaller intestine. Yes, I or small intestine or smaller intestine. Whatever may be this correct. Small intestine or smaller intestine. Next, this small intestine is attached to larger intestine. Larger intestine or large intestine. This large intestine is attached to rectum. Rectum. Rectum is attached to anus. Okay, now put these all parts in the brackets. Mouth. Next, first we take the food materials into mouth. Then mouth sends the food materials into buccal cavity. Buccal cavity will send the food materials into pharynx. Pharynx will send the food materials into esophagus. Esophagus is also called food pipe. Next, this esophagus sends the food materials into stomach for digestion. Next, this stomach is attached to duodenum. Duodenum is the starting of the small intestine. It is one of the part in a small intestine. The small intestine is attached to larger intestine. Larger intestine is attached to rectum. Rectum is attached to anus. Okay, na? So if you draw this flow chart, you will get 2 out of 2 marks. Here, look at the board. One more time I am going to explain. This is the flow chart of digestive system, human digestive system. First we will take human digestive system always starts with the mouth and it ends with the anus. Okay. So first we take the food materials into our mouth. Then mouth is useful for grinding. It has teeth and also saliva, tongue. With the help of teeth, saliva and tongue, what will happen? Digestion will be done. Grinding will be done. After completion of grinding, food materials will enter into buccal cavity and then pharynx here. Pharynx is attached to esophagus. Esophagus to stomach. Stomach to duodenum. Duodenum attaches to liver one side and next another side pancreas. So duodenum is one of the part of smaller intestine. It is attached to larger intestine. Larger intestine attached to rectum. Rectum is attached to anus. Here rectum is useful to store the waste materials in it. Next, it sends to the anus. Finally, with the help of anus, what will happen? Defecating substance will come out from our body in the form of stools. Okay, na? Okay, next topic, health aspects of alimentary canal. Already I told you, alimentary canal means a gut, a long tube which extends from mouth to anus is called alimentary canal. Health aspects of alimentary canal. In the topic of health aspects of alimentary canal, we need to discuss about these points. What they are? Alimentary canal definition. Next, vomiting. Next, bilious. It is also called liverish. Bilious or liverish. Next one, indigestion. 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 Next, these three are the ways which are useful to protect ourselves from the indigestion. Next one is ulcers. If we discuss these all topics, then our topic will be completed. These are very simpler ones. For 1 mark or half mark, he will ask you. First, alimentary canal definition. What do you know about alimentary canal definition? Already I told you. A longer tube which extends from mouth to anus is called alimentary canal. All of you recollect. A longer tube which extends from mouth to anus is called alimentary canal. This alimentary canal is also called gut. Very important. Gut. For 1 mark or half mark questions he will give you. What do you know about alimentary canal or define the alimentary canal? A longer tube which extends from mouth to anus is called alimentary canal or gut. Okay. Next, vomiting. Sometimes we will get vomiting. Why? What the reason? Because of indigestion. If you take the food materials in excessive manner, then what will happen? Those food material will be undigested in your stomach. As a result of this, what will happen? Vomiting will occur. In our previous diagram, in the structure of your digestive system, what we explained, peristalsis process is useful to send the food materials into esophagus and then to stomach, stomach to smaller intestine to anus. Okay, so in this process peristaltic waves are useful to send the food materials from mouth to the anus. But in the vomiting process, what will happen? The indigested food material will come out from our mouth. Okay, will come out from our mouth. Here, reverse peristalsis. Reverse peristalsis. Reverse peristalsis or reverse peristaltic waves are responsible for sending the waste material from our stomach to the mouth. Okay, peristalsis or peristaltic wave is useful to send the food material from mouth to stomach, and then stomach to small intestine to larger to finally through the anus, waste material will come out. If you take excessive food materials or the food materials which are not going to digest in your body, then what will happen? They will enter into your stomach and tries to digest. But if they do not get digestion, then what will happen? Waste material will come out from your mouth with the help of reverse peristaltic wave. Okay, this reverse peristaltic wave is useful to remove the unwanted materials from your body. This is called as vomiting. Vomiting sensation sometimes we will get because of the indigestion. Next, bilious or liverish. Bilious or liverish. Bilious or liverish means green vomit, green colored vomit. Green colored vomit or greenish vomit. Sometimes during the vomiting process we will observe green color material will come out from our stomach. Why does this happening? Because of the consumption of fat materials. Excessive fat materials. Because of intake of excessive fat materials into our body, then what will happen? The liver fails to produce the bile juice. Bile juice. What is the use of bile juice? Bile juice is useful for the production of bile juice is produced by the liver. It is useful to digest the fat molecules into simpler globules. Whenever if you are taking fat materials frequently, then what will happen? Our liver is going to be failed. Then fat materials will not be digested in our stomach. Here also we will get the vomit, but that vomit is in which color? Green color. That green colored vomit is called bilious or liverish. Bilious or liverish. Indigestion. Why does the indigestion can be occurred in our body? Indigestion can be occurred because of taking of some indigestive food materials. How do we protect ourselves from indigestion? By avoiding exercises after eating. After eating, don't do violent exercises. If you do the violent exercises, then it causes indigestion. Next, take balanced diet. We need to take the balanced diet. Don't try to take the high calorific food values, food materials every day, and don't take rich meals for several days. Next, eat leisurely. Eat leisurely means we need to masticate the food materials thoroughly. We need to grind the food materials thoroughly. Okay. Next, let us see ulcers. Ulcers. Sometimes we will get a burning sensation in our stomach. This burning sensation is mainly leads to ulcer. In which persons we can see ulcers? The persons who are in hurry-burry eating, who are taking the food materials in hurry-burry manner every day, and who are getting symptoms. Then next, who are getting tensed, who are getting tension. In those persons we can see ulcers. So don't try to take the food materials in hurry-burry manner, and don't try to increase your mind tension levels. So if you do these all, then what will happen? You will get ulcers. Because of the ulcers, our stomach will burn, and finally we will get some wounds in our stomach also. Okay, so try to eat the food materials leisurely. Don't eat the food materials in hurry-burry manner. Okay, health aspects of alimentary canal. Alimentary canal is also called gut. A long tube which extends from mouth to anus is called gut. Ponding is caused by which peristalsis wave? Reverse peristalsis wave. Next, bilious or liverish, a green colored vomit. Vomit followed by greenish color. Then it is called bilious or liverish. Indigestion. Indigestion. How do we eradicate the indigestion? Simply by taking by avoiding exercises after eating. Next, we need to take the balanced diet. Next, we need to eat the food materials leisurely. Okay. Next, ulcers. How do we protect ourselves from ulcers? Simply we need to take the food materials leisurely. Next, we do not try to eat the food materials in hurry manner. And the persons who are getting tensions continuously, then there is a chance to see ulcers in those candidates. Okay, so these are the topics which we can see in the health aspects of alimentary canal. Okay children, next class, malnutrition. First let us see the definition of malnutrition. Eating a food that doesn't contain one or more nutrients in it. Then it is called malnutrition. What is about balanced diet? If our diet or if our food materials contains vitamins, minerals, carbohydrates, all the nutrients in it, then it is called balanced diet. Already in 6th class we studied about it. Now we are going to discuss malnutrition. Malnutrition means our eating food, if it doesn't contains one or more than one nutrients in it, then it is called malnutrition. He will ask you very important definition of malnutrition. Okay, eating a food that doesn't contains one or more than one nutrients in it, then we can see malnutrition. And sometimes he will ask you reasons for malnutrition. So which reasons causes malnutrition? First reason, willful starvation. Willful starvation is one of the reason for malnutrition. Willful starvation అంటే మనంతటా మనం అన్నం తినకుండా ఎక్కువ రోజులు అలా ఉపవాసాలు చేస్తారు కదా, సో దాన్ని ఏమంటారంటే willful starvation. నెక్స్ట్, poor health. సో హెల్త్ అనేది ప్రాపర్గా ఉండకపోవడం, ప్రతిసారి ఏదో ఒక డిసీజ్ రావడం, సో దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ పూర్ హెల్త్. నెక్స్ట్, బిలో పోవర్టీ లైన్. బిలో పోవర్టీ లైన్ అంటే సో మిడిల్ క్లాస్ అంటారు కదా, మిడిల్ క్లాస్ కన్నా ఇంకా తక్కువలో బాగా పేదవాళ్ళు ఉంటే వాళ్ళు ఏం చేస్తారు అంటే సరిగ్గా తినలేరు. సో సరిగ్గా ఫుడ్ మెటీరియల్స్ అనేవి వాళ్ళకి రావన్నమాట. ఓకేనా, సో దానివల్ల కూడా మాల్న్యూట్రిషన్ అనేది వస్తుంది. నెక్స్ట్ వన్ ఈజ్ ల్యాక్ ఆఫ్ అవేర్నెస్. ఈ ల్యాక్ ఆఫ్ అవేర్నెస్ అంటే ఏంటి? వాళ్ళకి జాగ్రత్తలు తెలియదు. ఏ ఫుడ్ మెటీరియల్స్ తీసుకుంటే ఏం జరుగుతుంది, ఏవి తీసుకోవాలి, ఏవి తీసుకోకూడదు. రోజు కార్బోహైడ్రేట్స్ ఉండాలి అంటే ఏం తీసుకోవాలి, ఫైబర్స్ ఉండాలి. ఫైబర్స్ వెయిట్లో ఉంటాయి, వాళ్ళకి తెలియదు. నెక్స్ట్, ఫ్యాట్స్ వెయిట్లో ఉంటాయి, వాళ్ళకి తెలియదు. సో తెలియకుండా వాళ్ళకి ఏది దొరికితే అది ఆ మెటీరియల్స్ తింటారు. సో వాటిలో కార్బోహైడ్రేట్స్ కొన్నింట్లో ఉంటాయి, ఫ్యాట్స్ కొన్నింట్లో ఉంటాయి, కొన్నింట్లో ఉంటాయి. సో దానివల్ల కూడా వాళ్ళకి మాల్న్యూట్రిషన్ అనేది వస్తుంది అనమాట. సో these four are reasons of malnutrition. Malnutrition means eating a food that doesn't contains one or more nutrients in it is called malnutrition. What are the reasons behind this malnutrition? Willful starvation, వాళ్ళందరూ వాళ్ళే ఫుడ్ తినకుండా ఉండడం. పూర్ హెల్త్ సరిగా ఉండకపోవడం. బిలో పోవర్టీ లైన్, బాగా పేదవాళ్ళు అయి ఉండడం. నెక్స్ట్, ల్యాక్ ఆఫ్ అవేర్నెస్, వాళ్ళకి తెలియకపోవడం. ఏ ఫుడ్ మెటీరియల్ తీసుకుంటే హెల్త్కి మంచిది, ఏ ఫుడ్ మెటీరియల్ తీసుకుంటే బాడీ అనేది గ్రో అవుతుంది అనేది వాళ్ళకి ఐడియా ఉంటుంది అన్నమాట. సో వీటన్నిటి వల్ల ఏం జరుగుతుంది, మాల్న్యూట్రిషన్ అనేది వస్తుంది అన్నమాట. Let us see malnutrition and its types. Malnutrition is mainly divided into 3 types. How many types? 3 types. Malnutrition is divided into 3 types. First one, protein malnutrition. Protein malnutrition. Second one, calorie malnutrition. And third one is protein calorie malnutrition. Protein calorie malnutrition. So how many types of malnutritions are there? Mainly 3 types of malnutritions. In this topic, I am going to explain you some words and some terminology. Okay, for your better understanding. Don't try to think otherwise. Okay, see, malnutrition is divided into 3 types: protein malnutrition, calorie malnutrition, next protein calorie malnutrition. Protein malnutrition. When do we observe protein malnutrition? If our food doesn't contain protein in it, then we can see protein malnutrition. This protein malnutrition causes an important disease in our body, that is called kwashiorkor. Kwashiorkor. What it is? Kwashiorkor. Protein malnutrition causes a disease that is called kwashiorkor. Next, calorie malnutrition. No chance to see any diseases because of the calorie malnutrition. While every food material contains calories in it, every food material. If you take leafy vegetables or non-leafy vegetables, or fruity vegetables or non-veg, there is a chance to see some calorie. Calorie means energy. Okay, na? So there is no chance to see any diseases because of calorie malnutrition. But we can see a disease caused by both protein and calories. Means protein calorie malnutrition. That is called marasmus. Marasmus disease. Okay. Protein malnutrition disease causes kwashiorkor. Next, calorie, it doesn't show any disease in our bodies. Next, protein calorie, it causes marasmus disease. Let us see kwashiorkor disease. Kwashiorkor disease. In kwashiorkor disease patients, there is a chance to see diarrhea. Diarrhea means నీళ్ళ విరోచనాలు వస్తాయి. In marasmus also we can see diarrhea. Okay. Next, dry skin. Kwashiorkor patients show some dry skin. Dry skin అంటే ఈ స్కిన్ మీద ఇలా గీస్తే వైట్గా చాలా పడిపోతాయి అన్నమాట. సో దాన్ని డ్రై స్కిన్ అంటారు. సో marasmus patients also shows this dry skin symptom. Next, swelling of joints. Swelling of joints. So వీళ్ళకి కూడా స్వెల్లింగ్స్ కనిపిస్తాయి. బట్ ఎక్కడ కనిపిస్తాయి స్వెల్లింగ్స్? అట్ లిమ్స్ అంటే ఏంటి? మోచేతులు మోకాళ్ళు ఉంటాయి కదా, మోచేతులు మోకాళ్ళ దగ్గర ఈ మెరాస్మస్ వాళ్ళకి ఏం కనిపిస్తాయి? స్వెల్లింగ్స్ కనిపిస్తాయి. వీళ్ళకేమో జాయింట్స్ దగ్గర స్వెల్లింగ్స్ కనిపిస్తాయి, బాడీలో అన్ని చోట్ల. నెక్స్ట్, పూర్ మజిల్ డెవలప్మెంట్. Poor muscle development. So వీళ్ళలో కూడా poor muscle development అబ్జర్వ్ చేస్తాం ఈ మెరాస్మస్. నెక్స్ట్, see here fluffy face. ఈ kwashiorkor డిసీజ్లో ఆ పేషెంట్స్కి ఎలాంటి ఫేస్ ఉంటుంది? ఫ్లఫీ ఫేస్ అంటే బాగా ఉబ్బిపోయి బండగా కనిపిస్తుంది అన్నమాట ఫేస్. సో మరి వీళ్ళు ఎలా ఉంటారు? లీన్ అండ్ వీక్ అంటే బాగా సన్నగా ఉండి బాడీలో ఉన్న బోన్స్ అన్ని కనిపిస్తాయి అన్నమాట. సో వాళ్ళు ఏంటి? మెరాస్మస్ వాళ్ళు. kwashiorkor డిసీజ్ టు పేషెంట్స్ సిమ్టమ్స్. ఫ్లఫీ ఫేస్, బాగా ఉబ్బిపోయిన ఫేస్ కనిపిస్తుంది. ఫేస్ బాగా ఉబ్బిపోతుంది, పెద్ద పొట్ట ఉంటుంది, బాగా పొట్ట అంటారు, పెద్దగా పొట్ట కనిపిస్తుంది బాడీలో. నెక్స్ట్, డయేరియా, వీళ్ళకి నీళ్ళ విరోచనాలు అవుతూ ఉంటాయి. డ్రై స్కిన్ డ్రైగా అయిపోయి ఉంటుంది. నెక్స్ట్, స్వెల్లింగ్ ఆఫ్ జాయింట్స్ దగ్గర వాపులు వచ్చేస్తాయి. బాడీలో ఎక్కడైతే జాయింట్స్ ఉన్నాయి, ఇక్కడ జాయింట్ ఉంది, సో ఇక్కడ వాపులు వస్తాయి, ఇక్కడ జాయింట్, ఇక్కడ వాపులు, ఇక్కడ బాడీ మొత్తం వాపులు వచ్చేస్తాయి అన్నమాట. నెక్స్ట్, పూర్ మజిల్ డెవలప్మెంట్. వీళ్ళలో మజిల్స్ అనేవి సరిగా డెవలప్ కావు. నెక్స్ట్ మెరాస్మస్ చూడండి. మెరాస్మస్లో వీళ్ళకి కూడా ఏముంటుంది, డయేరియా ఉంటుంది. వీళ్ళకి కూడా న్యూమరేషన్ వస్తాయి. డ్రై స్కిన్ వీళ్ళకి కూడా ఉంటుంది. నెక్స్ట్ స్వెల్లింగ్, ఇక్కడ స్వెల్లింగ్ ఉంటుంది, కానీ ఏం స్వెల్లింగ్ ఉంటాయి, లిమ్స్ ఉంటాయి. లిమ్స్ దగ్గర చేతి మోకాళ్ళ దగ్గర స్వెల్లింగ్స్ ఉంటాయి. నెక్స్ట్ వీళ్ళు ఇంకా లీన్ అండ్ వీక్గా ఉంటారు, అంటే బాగా సన్నగా ఉండి బాడీలో ఉన్న బోన్స్ అన్ని కనిపిస్తూ ఉంటాయి అన్నమాట. నెక్స్ట్ వీళ్ళకి జాయింట్స్ దగ్గర కాకుండా లిమ్స్ దగ్గర ఏం కనిపిస్తాయి, స్వెల్లింగ్స్ కనిపిస్తాయి. వీళ్ళలో కూడా పూర్ మసిల్ డెవలప్మెంట్ ఉంటుంది. ఇంకా ఇంపార్టెంట్ పాయింట్ ఏంటంటే ఈ మెరాస్మస్కి సంబంధించి it is mainly caused because of immediate second pregnancy to the mother. It is mainly caused in the children, in the which children, second children to the mother, because of the immediate pregnancy. Mother ki first డెలివరీ అయిన తర్వాత వెంటనే సెకండ్ డెలివరీ కనుక అయితే, అంటే వితిన్ 1 year లోపు కనుక సెకండ్ టైం ప్రెగ్నెన్సీ వచ్చి డెలివరీ అయితే ఆ పుట్టిన బేబీస్లో మనం ఏం అబ్జర్వ్ చేయొచ్చు, మెరాస్మస్ డిసీజ్ అనేది అబ్జర్వ్ చేస్తాం. ఓకేనా? సి malnutrition. Malnutrition is thinking of food that doesn't contains one or more than one nutrients in it is called malnutrition. Malnutrition is divided into how many types? 3 types. Protein malnutrition, calorie malnutrition, both protein and calorie malnutrition. Protein malnutrition, it causes kwashiorkor disease. Calorie malnutrition, we cannot observe any disease caused by calorie malnutrition. Both protein and calorie, it causes marasmus disease. Okay, symptoms already I told you. Next, these 4 are the reasons of malnutrition: weak starvation, poor health, below poverty line, lack of awareness on food materials. Okay, so these all are the reasons of malnutrition. Now I am going to show you the kwashiorkor patients. Next, marasmus patients pictures. Okay, in our textbook he gave you. See, all of you open page number 18 in your textbooks. Page number 18. See, figure 14. Kwashiorkor patients. Fluffy face. Next one, dry skin. And other one, swelling of joints. So face ఉబ్బినట్టు కనిపిస్తుంది, పెద్దగా పొట్ట కనిపిస్తుంది, అబ్జర్వ్ చేయండి. Next, poor muscle development. So these all are the symptoms of kwashiorkor disease. Next, figure 15, marasmus disease. వీళ్ళలో కూడా పూర్ మజిల్ డెవలప్మెంట్ ఉంటుంది. నెక్స్ట్ వీళ్ళ బాడీలో బోన్స్ చూడండి, చాలా క్లియర్గా కనిపిస్తున్నాయి. సో చాలా లీన్ అండ్ వీక్గా ఉంటారు. నెక్స్ట్, స్వెల్లింగ్ ఎట్ ద లిమ్స్, లీన్ అండ్ వీక్గా ఉంటారు. వీళ్ళకి డిసీజ్ ఎలా వస్తుంది? బికాస్ ఆఫ్ ద ఇమ్మీడియట్ సెకండ్ ప్రెగ్నెన్సీ టు ద మదర్. ఆల్ ఆఫ్ యూ అబ్జర్వ్. ఒబేసిటీ, ఫిగర్ 16. ఒబేసిటీ ఎలా ఉన్నాడు? బాగా వెయిట్ ఉన్నాడు బేబీ. సో అలా ఎందుకు తయారవుతారంటే బికాస్ ఆఫ్ ద ఎక్సెసివ్ ఇంటేక్ ఆఫ్ ప్రోటీన్ అండ్ క్యాలరీస్ ఫుడ్ మెటీరియల్స్. బాగా ఎక్కువగా తినడం వల్ల ఆ ఒబేసిటీ అనేది వస్తుంది, అంటే బాగా లావుగా వెయిట్ పెరిగిపోతారనమాట అది. సో అలా వెయిట్ పెరగడం అనేది కరెక్ట్ కాదు. దానివల్ల ఏం జరుగుతుంది? వీ విల్ గెట్ కార్డియోవాస్కులర్ డిసీజ్. కార్డియోవాస్కులర్ డిసీజెస్ అంటే ఏంటి? హార్ట్కి సంబంధించిన ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ వస్తాయి. నెక్స్ట్, కిడ్నీ డిసీజెస్, డయాబెటీస్ అంటే షుగర్ డిసీజెస్ కూడా వస్తాయన్నమాట. కాబట్టి ఓవర్ వెయిట్ అనేది ఉండకూడదు. నెక్స్ట్, లెట్ us see the figure 17. పెల్లాగ్రా డిసీజ్ అబ్జర్వ్ చేయండి. పెల్లాగ్రా డిసీజ్ స్కిన్ మీద ఏం కనిపిస్తున్నాయి? రెడ్ కలర్లో ఉన్న ర్యాషెస్ కనిపిస్తున్నాయి. ఈ దేని వల్ల వస్తాయంటే వైటమిన్ డెఫిషియన్సీ వల్ల వస్తాయి. నియాసిన్ అనే వైటమిన్ ఉంటుంది, ఆ వైటమిన్ సరిగా తీసుకోకపోవడం వల్ల ఈ పెల్లాగ్రా అనే డిసీజ్ వస్తుంది అనమాట. స్కిన్ మీద ర్యాషెస్ వస్తాయి, రెడ్ కలర్లో ర్యాషెస్ అనేవి వస్తాయి అన్నమాట. ఓకేనా? సో అది రాకుండా ఉండాలంటే మనం ఏం చేయాలి? నియాసిన్ అనే వైటమిన్ ఎక్కువగా తీసుకోవాలి. ఓకే? సో ఓకే చిల్డ్రన్, ఇన్ అవర్ క్లాస్ we discussed about malnutrition and malnutritional diseases also. In our next class we will discuss about vitamins and deficiency diseases. Okay children, thank you.